NVIDIA RTX Remix game remastering platform is now open source. AMD says more memory matters, and also NVIDIA is also setting to release 12 gigs of RTX 4070 GPU, so what a good timing it is. Cyberpunk 2077 patch with Ray Tracing Overdrive mode, which enables NVIDIA DLNA, Intel XeSS, and of course the main thing, path tracing. And lastly, early dual AMD Zen5 CPU system scores 123k points in Cinebench. That's coming from a leak. This is Tech Track. So firstly, we have NVIDIA RTX Remix. That's probably a new platforming, basically a remastering tool that NVIDIA is launching here. And basically, they're making it open source. So what is RTX Remix runtime open source? Basically, RTX Remix is basically a remastering tool that uses path tracing that you can remaster the DX8 or 9 titles using, of course, AI enhanced technologies here, or user created assets, whatever you want to use. Basically, it uses path tracing and NVIDIA DLSS and everything else that RTX can offer. And basically, RTX Remix is that tool that has everything in combined to give you that capability to, well, remaster any game, basically. So this is the pipeline we're looking at for the Remix remaster here, basically. And if you look into that, this is the original DX9 runtime that basically the original game, we could say. And this is the basically the, well, RTX Remix. What does it do? Well, basically it's, well, as you can see, there's a lot of things. Obviously, we don't understand a lot of it, but we can have an idea from it. So firstly, we have that x86 to x64 conversion in a bridge. Then we have DX9 to Vulkan conversion. Then it makes the scene, of course, it can be like automated, AI enhanced, or you can use your own assets here. Basically the lights, cameras, textures, and geometry, everything else that you can literally do that. And then the renderer, we have path tracer, DLSS, or reflex, or more other render option, basically, so you can use any of these. One thing also to mention here, that it has also has that asset manager. Basically, you can switch the old assets to the modded assets that you want. That's how modding works, right? But now they're making it in a tool, so should be much easier for users or the developers. And of course, then you can use the GPU to render, and you got the game completely remastered. So very good technology we're looking at, and also it's open source, so another plus point there. So I'm interested to see how this RTX Remix will turn out to be, because as you can see, it's an open source, and as we all know, open source things are always gold. So we're gonna look into some great games, older titles getting remixed, hopefully, or remaster, you could say. Next up, we have AMD just, well, posted there in their blog post here, and basically it's saying that, are you an enthusiast? Well, yes, I am. So they're saying that more memory matters. Yeah, it is true. In present time, more memory does matter, and that's why they're offering some very good deals here, because we already have deals here. Basically, the 7900 XTX pricing at $999, the 7900 XT we already know $849, and now the current market price for the 6950 XT is $699. Pretty good deal, I have to say. Very good deal. 6800 XT is also $579, not a bad deal either. And 6800 RX 6800 non-XT basically is $499, which is like crazy pricing, I have to say, because all of them offer you more than 12 gigs what NVIDIA can offer, even in their latest RTX 4070 12 gigs. Though I'm not saying that 4070 lags behind, because according to the benchmark, it's in between RTX 3080 or 6800 XT. Somewhere around that, or not even in between, on par. So yeah, basically, which one would you go for? RTX 4070 or something like 6800 XT that has more VRAM? So it always comes down to what kind of games you're playing, if your game takes more VRAM or not. Yeah, it really depends, but honestly, if that is the pricing for 6800 XT in the current market, I think 6800 XT is a better deal compared to RTX 4070. As we already know, RTX 4070 is $600. So, well, it makes it fair to buy RX 6800 XT. Next up, we have Cyberpunk patch 1.62, the RT Overdrive. Basically, they're introducing the path tracing technology here. And well, that's the main focus here, the path tracing technology preview. So they added the Ray Tracing Overdrive preset, which includes the path tracing technology. And well, if you don't know what path tracing technology is, you should watch the video of their, well, showcasing the path tracing. That's how you will get to understand a lot more about the technology. But we also have more other added features here. Basically, the added NVIDIA DLLA, basically the AI-based anti-aliasing mode. Same thing what anti-aliasing does, but using the DLLA, which uses AI. And of course, you would need an RTX graphics card for that we have to mention. We also have Intel XeSS, basically the simple sampling tech for Intel here. If you have an Intel GPU like the ARC, A770 or A750 or A380, whatever you want to choose. Though I would doubt myself that you're using A380 to run Cyberpunk because, well, we already know it's a very demanding game. But yeah, that doesn't really matter. But Intel XeSS has been supported. So yeah, DLAA, Intel XeSS. I can't really spell that. TLAA. Yeah, whatever that is. Path tracing. Yeah, these technologies are in for Cyberpunk 2077. So pretty good. Next up, we have a huge leak coming from Moore's Law is Dead. And well, basically, he just leaked something huge. This is that we're looking at is the AMD Zen5 Cinebench leak. And this is an AMD engineering sample. I'm very sorry about that. This is really blurred out because that's the original footage that we got. It is very blurred out. But doesn't really matter. We're understanding one thing is that this is an AMD engineering sample which has 128 cores and 256 threads and also clocking at 2.3 gigahertz, I believe. Though it's blurred, but we can at least understand from that. And if you look into the Cinebench R23 score here, like it says 1, 2, 3 and then some other scores that we can't really see, but basically what that means is 123K, 123,000 on an AMD engineering sample that is Gen 5 base processor, right? And not only that, he mentions that this is a processor that is not overclocked with liquid nitrogen. It's literally on stock, which is the most craziest thing because that score right there we're looking at, 123K, literally beats all the other scores. Well, obviously these scores are the highest ranking, as you can see, 132K, 129K, but just look closely, they're liquid nitrogen based. Literally, they're using liquid nitrogen to get 132K, but that score we looked into, the 123K on an AMD Ryzen or whatever that is, I don't know, but 128 core processor, that is, we already know, that was running on stock, which is the most craziest thing because if you look closely, even these processors, the Ryzen Threadripper Pro, the Intel Xeon or AMD EPYC, all of these processors are on either water-cooled or liquid nitrogen, and they're not even reaching 123K. Just 2 of them over 123K. That's it. None of them are reaching 123. So that's crazy. That's absolutely amazing that it can reach on stock 123K and we are getting that performance from an engineering sample because, you know, engineering samples are unpredictable, or not just unpredictable, it can improve. So that's epic. I wonder if this is an epic CPU because if it is, it is epic because 128 cores, 256 threads, obviously they're very high core count here, and the score in Cinebench R23 is not something to joke about. It's literally on stock 123K. That's what the information coming from Moore's Law is Dead, which is, again, it's a leak still, could be fake, but hardly this can be fake. So we'll see about that. But still, it's huge.